We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show.
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
Hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about, are plat maps still a big deal?
What's a plat map? We'll cover that too. Do I need one?
I wonder
Should I be
how
having
many
these?
people know what a plat map
I know.
is.
What do I have to have that? Or my buyer's going to ask for that? I can help.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Okay. Tabitha asks, hello, everyone. I am considering purchasing a 3.5 acre property for $5,200. The lowest comps are $17,500 for 1 acres, and prices increase from there. How big was this one again? I already forgot.
3.5.
3.5 acres. Okay, thank you.
3.5 acres
Wow.
for $5,000.
That's great. And everything else says 1 acre for 17. Okay, it's sounding great so far. However, there's a mobile home on the property from 1994. No one has lived on the property in years, according to the seller. The property's in a decent area, close to 2 lakes, with established homes nearby. I need to verify the seller also owns the mobile home. A quick Google search shows the cost of demolishing a mobile home can be anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000. Is my offer a little too high, considering the demo cost the next buyer would be taking on? Thanks.
We're going to say the same thing.
I know we are. You want to go? You go.
No, you go ahead.
No, it's okay. No, you go.
You ladies first, especially since we're not going to argue about this. This is good.
No, it's an attribute. This is
the
cool.
greatest thing could ever
I
happen.
love it because you're really spending enough money that it's really that you're buying the dirt. So anything on the dirt is a bonus. I don't even care from it's 1994. You know, one of our members tells this great story of these people moving on to like a rundown farm, and they in a shack, and they literally moved in and started building it up and adding, walls and making it a home and enrolled their kids in school and did the whole thing. So in 1994, that's nuts. So it's not like 1954. I have nothing else.
You know what I would do? Celebrate, first of all. And I wouldn't remove it at all.
Nope.
Because here's the real value. It's not so much the mobile home itself. The real value is that the mobile home's connected to all the utilities that are there. Electric, sewer, water, maybe it's septic, we don't know. Whatever it is, they've solved it all. So it's not so much the expense of removing it. I wouldn't remove it at all. I would do some research about what's connected and the whole thing, but really not that much. You know what I'd do? Nothing. I'd buy the property, have somebody take some pictures of it, probably cut the lawn, clean it up a little bit, and sell it.
Yeah.
It's worth way more money because this mobile home's on it.
I'm questioning why the seller will know if they own the mobile home. I'm assuming it's one phone call and you're going to find out the whole situation.
It's pretty good. She's actually making a good point. I think it was a she, right? Tabitha. She's making a good point. You should find out if they own it. Right. Hopefully they do.
Exactly. Super cool.
And if not, try to buy it from the person that
exactly.
Say maybe you can I'll give you $100 or something.
Exactly, because she said too that they haven't lived there in years.
Yeah.
So whoever it is, they went dark. They're gone.
Right.
So I'm sure you just throw some money their way to get the pink slip done.
Hey, if you don't know, mobile homes in most areas of the country are personal property. They're not real estate. They're very separate. Some of them are listed on the DMV, your state's DMV, just like your car is. Some of them are not. So the rules change a lot. The whole industry is moving toward having it be real estate and taxed as such and lent against as such. So all the stuff that's going on with mobile homes is really positive. Yeah. It's still the cheapest way to live.
Yep. I still laugh at one of our
yeah.
It was
Luke.
Andrew.
It was Luke.
Wasn't it? You think it was Andrew? Or I don't know.
If you live in a mobile home, where do you go from there?
Where do you go from there?
Where do you go down from there? That's what he meant.
So, yeah, the point was people are going to fight to hang on to that.
Yeah.
If that's their home, they want to stay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Today's topic, are plat maps still a big deal? This is the meat of the show. What's a plat map, Joe?
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk a couple things. I want to talk about, for those of you who don't know, what is a plat map? We're going to talk about why you might need one. And I was going to talk about the way it used to be and the way it is today, because you still might need one. And then I'm going to talk about if you do need one, where do you get one kind of thing. So
Yeah.
first of all, you want to explain what a plat map
Sure.
is? Okay.
Plat maps were used and still are used for subdividing property. All right. So picture the whole country is, except for Texas, the whole country is set up in what's called a baseline and meridian system. And so there's the baseline goes horizontal. It's like a picture an X and Y axis graph. There's a baseline that goes horizontally, and the meridian is vertical. And inside each of those are 36. Picture like a tile floor, 36 squares, and each one of those squares is 640 acres. That's right, 1 square mile. And so from there, it gets subdivided down, and what they use, it's even still, if a survey is required for a subdivision, like where you live in your house, I'm 99% confident that's a subdivision, then the result of the surveyors, when they're done subdividing up the lots, is a plat map. And it's not always survey. Sometimes you can rewrite a description. So if it's an unsubdivided area, in an unsubdivided area where they just rewrote the description down from 640 acres, like the northeast quarter or the southeast quarter, then you can just rewrite the description and redraw a plat map, like with a ruler on a piece of paper. That happens a lot. There are a lot of people in our group that actually do that. They split property up. One way is called splitting. One way is called subdividing. They're very different, separate things, but that's not what this show's about today. So that's a plat map. It's always in a black and white piece of paper, and they're organized in the county assessor's office using the book and page methodology.
Still to this day.
Literally, there are books with pages in them. So book number
Exactly.
471, page number 32, you're going to find your property.
Right. And you've probably seen them. And like when you become a member of Land Academy, one of the things you get right away is you get access to Title Pro 24/7. And I use it for due diligence. And I'll go in there sometimes and pull a little property report, costs a couple dollars. And in there will be a plat map for me showing. And so let's talk about why would I need one? So, and really what's on there. Because not only is it going to show you exactly the dimensions of the property, that's what's on there. It shows you the width of the property, the dimensions of the property, all the properties around there. If there's an easement, like a road you need to know about for
Exactly.
utilities, it's all meant so for you to really be able to take a step back and see on paper the property and the outlines of the property where it should be. Back in the day, before we had Parcel Fact and some of our other mapping tools, we used them all the time. That was it.
That was the only way to find property up until about probably 98-ish, 97. Right about the time Google Earth is what changed everything. It used to be called Keyhole, and then Google bought it. Do you know Keyhole was started in a garage, just like,
I believe
do you
that
know this story?
was and
Yeah. Google bought it for $2 billion.
amazing.
Right about the time they bought YouTube.
Amazing.
Those guys, that was a good payday for them.
Yep, exactly.
They started it on,
talk about the
on
old
their
days.
credit cards.
Oh gosh.
Anyway,
This is good. I like it though.
they started it on their credit cards. They didn't have any money at all. There was no, as the story goes, I don't think there's even any venture capital.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Where were they? Where was it? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I could find out. I should have
Okay.
found
It's
out
just
before
kind of
this.
cool. It's not what the show's about, so it's totally fine.
So before Google Earth, we had to pull a plat map on every single property.
Yep.
And then what we would do is create a posting this is before you'd buy it. So it took a long time to buy property
Right.
in the 90s, early 80s, 90s.
And they were big. We get the big.
Yeah.
It's like the size of like your blueprints for your house, and we would have to kind of shrink them down if we're going to include them in, the what we're selling to our buyers.
And then, so you'd find the plat map, you'd use the old baseline meridian scenario to, you would take that plat map, find out where it is in general. And then you'd go to, I had all 50 states of the DeLorme. If you're younger, you probably remember your parents had a set of maps for the state that you live in. They're called street maps. And so you'd find use the plat map, match it up with the road map, and find the property, and then take pictures and stuff, or photocopies even, and create a posting on the internet and sell the property that way. Man, we sound old. There's a lot of paper in our lives back then.
There was.
And that's a lot of reasons.
This is pre me. I didn't have to do a lot of that.
You know, so there wasn't a lot of competition. In fact, I can think of maybe a handful of people that were doing it that way back then, because there's a lot of work and it was pretty brainy.
Yeah.
Now you just go to Parcel Facts, which is a company Jill and I own, type in the state county APN, and then within seconds,
Right.
you know exactly where the property is, everything about it,
Right.
and you can make a decision and buy it that day.
It's so
It's
amazing.
insane.
I still sit back because even when I came on board, there was a little bit of that going on sometimes, but at least I had Google Earth. So I'd sit there, I'd have the plat map on one screen, I'd have Google Earth on the other screen, and I'm trying to say, okay, I see river. Okay, maybe that's where the river is. Now I gotta try to line it up with the road. Okay, there's the road. And most of the time you could figure it out, but there were some times that I was just flat out lost, and it was hard finding property. And then Texas, that's a whole nother thing. But anyway, and so it was interesting. But so
Look how much fun these kids are having on the beach behind us.
oh, how cute. That's so good.
It's a holiday,
That's
so
like
the kids are
dad.
in school. Yeah,
Dad's out there having fun too. That's
I
cute.
remember when the kids
That's
are that
good.
little. That was so much fun.
But the good news is you don't have to do that anymore. So here's what's going on now. Nowadays, it's very rare that you need a plat map. And honestly, we're only doing it for two reasons. One is we can't find a property. There's some reason that I cannot find the property. And the other reason is I need to see if there's a platted road. I think there's a road. I need to know if that's a road. Is it a legitimate road? Because it's going to make a difference for me buying the property and selling the property. I need to know about physical and or legal access. That's why. And it's super easy for us now. I'll tell you right now. So where do you get one? Well, the first thing I would do, if you remember, we just log right into Title Pro, and 99% of the time, you just pull up a little property report and they're in there. It's awesome.
I didn't know that.
Exactly. It comes with our property report. So I have that there. What if I don't have that? Okay, so here's what I do.
We just, why don't you talk about the deal we're doing now?
I didn't even think to tell him. I'm just letting him run. But we have a deal with a bunch in a Midwestern state. We're acquiring several properties in one county. And we're having this issue right now where we can't find them. So we had to go get a lot of plat maps.
Believe it or not, it's not that infrequent in these rural counties where the assessor doesn't even know where the property is. Sometimes the owners don't even know.
Exactly.
They inherited it.
That's what's going on in this one. He
so
doesn't even know.
We are the first people we're pulling all the plat maps on the whole thing, just like it's, 1987. And we're finding these properties and we're finding I'll tell you what, I did 8 or 10 of them, I think myself, before we got the person that we're partnering the deal with some other people. And I was just like, we got to get this deal closed fast. Because I'm finding these properties. I'm like, these properties are worth way more
and worth
than
the
we're
work.
paying. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one way to get them. So the other way is you just go to the county. You go to the county and it's going to, usually counties are if you're dealing with plat maps in a county that far, not that tech savvy, you're probably going to be mailing them a check and you're probably going to be waiting a week or two for them to make copies, and they'll probably still come in a cylinder. They might still, be that big. I don't know if they have them all shrunk down, depends on the county, but it's going to be a little time to get it to you. So that's, if you need it, that's what you're going to do.
Jill talks about drive a stick shift once in a while.
It's
This
true.
is kind of the stick shift thing. Like, I wouldn't certainly wouldn't buy a car that has a manual transmission like that. But, I always say, if you haven't had a car in your life that you've never had a car in your life with a stick shift, then you grew up with some money. Because my cars.
Race cars are stick shifts.
No, they're up here. The paddles
Oh,
up here
well,
now.
that too. I know. But I mean, all right, back in the day though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So not that, the paddles just came about, 3-4 years ago.
Yeah. It's good to see them and look at them and know what they are. And I do use them. When I have them, when I pull them, I put in the posting.
Yeah.
It's just kind of cool to have. And I can show where the road is, and it's, legal access.
It's really important for subdivided property because it can get messy.
Right.
I shouldn't say messy. It can get difficult. to find it and understand which properties are what.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all, if it's not in parcel fact, we had to order these plat maps for these properties because they weren't, the county was not covered in parcel fact. And the reason that is, there's very few counties that are not covered. It's just because the assessors, they're just behind the times. They don't have the resources, the time, or the money, or the interest to become computerized.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would never need a plat map in LA County ever. Every single property is right where it needs to be.
Exactly. It's good.
Join us next time for another episode called Flood Zones 101. I didn't write these. This is
And
fun.
the best resource available. We wrote these. I'll tell you right now real quick. Aaron and I sat down and we wrote all these topics this week based on questions that people are having. And that's
Excellent.
what we're covering.
Oh, that's great.
Exactly. And we'll answer that question and more from you posted on our online community at landinvestors.com. It is free.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
Yeah, Aaron and I, thank you for letting us do this. Aaron and I have been interjecting these titles, really based on what's going on, what people are asking about, what they're talking about, what they need to know still, or it's all in our program, but sometimes you forget and you need a refresher. So it's really good.
Yeah.
By the way, the Land Academy Daily Show, this one, remains commercial free for you, our loyal listener. So wherever you're watching or wherever you're listening, please subscribe and rate us there. We are Steve and Jill.
Information
And inspiration
to buy undervalued property.